strong in you today. Why don't you give him all of your fears? Why don't you let him dry all of your tears? He knows he's been through pain before, and he knows all that you've been looking for. So be strong and take courage. Do not fear or be dismayed. For the one who lives within you will be strong in you today. Nothing can take you out of his hand. Nothing can face you that you can't command. I know that always you'll be as his love and his power you will be free. So take charge and be encouraged. Do not fear or be dismayed, for the one who lives within you will be strong in you today. For the one who lives within you will be strong in you today.
Hi, I want to welcome everyone to Unity Baton Rouge. I'm Reverend Larry Marie Heil, and Reverend Laura Lisa will be back with you next week, but today I'm it. So welcome everyone that's in the sanctuary, those of you that are out there in the virtual world as well. We're so glad that you decided to join us today. We're having a message of embracing power and eliminating fear, and Jude's music just summed it up. So, but we hope that you'll stay around anyway. Listen to the message and all the music that we have. We have a blessing in our bulletin that we say every week, and I invite you to say it with me. We love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. Who you are makes a difference in our lives. And you know, when we make a difference in each other's lives, I think what we do is we embrace that power that's within us, and we notice, we pay attention to the divine. So our music team has a great song for you. This is the Center for Spiritual Living music team, and I hope that you'll join us. There's words in your bulletin for those of you that are in the sanctuary. And for those of you that are not, catch on, just sing along.
God is my source, God is my blessing, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my blessing, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my blessing, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need.
And we have a statement of being, and I invite you to say it with me. There is only one presence, one power, and one intelligence, active as the universe and as my life. God the good, omnipotence. And Chris is going to do our reading for us today. Richard Gordon, for those of you that are looking at the bulletin, could not make it. And him our well wishes and are grateful to Chris for stepping in.
Good morning. I'm Richard's stunt double. The daily word for Sunday, January 22nd, is power. My thoughts and words reflect my divine inheritance. When I listen to my inner conversation and recurring thoughts, I may hear fear-based limiting talk, or I may hear positive words encouraging me to live joyfully and confidently. The choice is mine. Through my divine gift of power, I take command of my thoughts and my life. I release thoughts of powerlessness, and as I do, my negative self-talk diminishes. I affirm my divine inheritance of faith, wisdom, understanding, and strength with my thoughts, words, and actions. The power to live a full life is mine. I embrace insights I've gained through experience. I own my mistakes without shame or embarrassment. I am eager to learn. I am willing to try new things and stretch myself. In power, I thrive. And today's scripture is from Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat the fruits.
In our hymn prior to meditation and through meditation, oh, let this great power wash through. Those lyrics are in your bulletin.
Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. I don't have to wonder what to say or what to do. Just let this great power wash through, wash through. Oh, let me see God's light in you, in you. Oh, let me see God's light in you, in you. I don't have to see the truth. Just let me see God's light in you, in you.
So we take this time to light our unity candle, knowing that we are all one, that the Christ lives within each of us. We send a Happy New Year blessing to all the Asian people. And we know that every day we can carry that Christ within us and show it to other people. So it's with great, great gratitude that we allow this candle to shine its light and light up our hearts. And we move to this time of meditation, allowing that great power to wash over us, allowing that light to shine through us, embracing that power, embracing that light, that love. For there is only one life. It's God's life, and it's our life right here, right now, all we need do is say yes to that life, to say yes to that power, to say yes to that love. So, as we move into a short time of reflection, I invite you to feel the power washing over you, to feel the love and the light washing through you. And as we return, we notice the light, the Christ light, and we embrace it. We allow that light to be a symbol of the light we are. And we know that the power of the divine is ours for the asking.
Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. I don't have to wonder what to say or what to do. Just let this great power wash through, wash through. Oh, let me see God's light in you, in you. Oh, let me see God's light in you, in you. I don't have to ask to see the truth. Just let me see God's light in you, in you.
So this next song is the truth of everything, that God is in everything. Sing along.
I see joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom, see the beauty that lives in me. I see perfection in what life brings. I see God in everything. I feel joy, I feel peace, I feel goodness surrounding me. I feel love in every breath I breathe. I feel God in everything. I feel happiness, I feel freedom. I feel the beauty that lives in me. I feel perfection in what life brings. I feel God in everything. I choose joy, I choose peace. I choose goodness surrounding me. I choose love in every breath I breathe. I choose God in everything. I choose happiness, I choose freedom. Choose the beauty that lives in me. I choose perfection in what life brings. I choose God in everything.
So those words, choose God in everything. If we lived by them, wow, what power we would have in our lives. I want to thank you for having me today. I always love coming and speaking at Unity here. And today we're talking about embracing power and eliminating fear. Because if we want to have power to live the life that we really want to live, it's essential that we believe that anything in life is possible, that anything in life is possible. And also that we learn to let go of those fears, because the fears are what keep us from thinking that anything in life is possible. One of my favorite quotes from Ernest Holmes is, "There is a power that is greater than you are, and you can use it." There's a power greater than you are, and you can use it. Imagine what the world would be like if we all embraced those words. And if we all believed that we could choose freedom and we could choose love and we could choose happiness. Well, the truth is, you can. It is a choice. So I always come with a question for you, so I wouldn't want to disappoint you. So I have a question today. What is the one choice that you can make today to embrace the power of the universe, eliminating any fears or doubts about you being able to use that power? And we're going to talk about how you do things. The first thing we need to know is, how do we go about embracing that power? Anybody know how to embrace that power? I think we all know it. We just don't always go into that place, which is required to truly use the power. And the answer is really, really simple. Just use it. Simple answer, not so easy to implement. So we're going to talk a little bit about ways that we might be able to help ourselves remember how to use it. You know, you have to make up your mind in the very depths of your being, not just like in your mind, but in every little cell of your body, that there is a power greater than you are and that you can choose to use it. You can choose to use it. You have to choose to use it. And you know what? That power wants for you exactly what you desire. Now, that's a thought. Let me say that one more time. That power wants for you exactly what you desire. You know, in Mark 9:23, Jesus said, "All things are possible to him that believeth." And we also heard Jesus say, "It's done unto you as you believe." As you believe. So the trick here is, do you believe? Because if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to use it. So, first, believe it's possible. And then, guess what? We have to ask. A lot of us go through life thinking, oh, I'd really like this to happen, or I'd really like that to happen, but we don't do anything about it. There's an expression that we use, treat and move your feet. You have to move your feet. You have to ask. Because Jesus also told us, ask and it's given. So learn to ask. Know that you can use the power. Believe that you can use the power. Choose to use it and then ask so that it can be given. So one of the things that I love is that in Philippians 4:6, it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, and with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Present your requests to God. The old ancient Bible was telling us we have to ask. It goes on to say that the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. So, how often Do you actually present your request to God? I mean, make a concerted effort, not just think about it, but really say, this is really important to me. I lose things and I say, okay, God, I really need to have this. I know that this is a silly little request, but you know what? No request is too small. And guess what? I usually find what I'm looking for because I ask. Sometimes I ask my angels, like my mom and my dad and my son. But typically, the request has to be made. So if you're frustrated about something, think about what it is you really want and then ask for it. Those are important issues. If you want to learn to use that power, you also have to learn to ask. And guess what? We need to walk away, really away, the illusion that our power is in our abundance of money, in our beautiful bodies, if we believe our bodies are beautiful, that it's in any worldly thing. Those are just illusions. I heard somebody say several years ago, if aliens came down and they looked at us, they would laugh that we think that these little green strips of money and these little tiny coins are our abundance. It sounds kind of funny, but when you think about it, yeah, a lot of people put a lot of faith in those little green strips of paper and those coins. It's not where your power is. That's what we have to remember. I'm currently doing a series on this thing called you, and I love this quote. If you wish to live in the kingdom of heaven, forget hell. If you wish to live in the kingdom of heaven, forget hell. How often do we suffer because something comes up and we just go into our poor me, oh my, this is horrible. Okay, I did it over Christmas when I was stuck in an airport for 28 hours, but not for very long, actually. Just long enough to complain a little bit to my family that I wasn't going to get there for Christmas. It happens, and we don't always remember, but we do create suffering for ourselves by believing in illusions, by making our own little hell. You find the roots of your life in pure spirit. You find the roots of your life in pure spirit. So we have to lose any sense that we are separated from our good, because we're not. There is a power in the universe. We can use it, and we can use it for our own good. But we believe, at least at times, I know I do, that I'm separated from that good. Oh, I'm not good enough to do this, or that's way out of my reach. Not if we want it to be, not if we want to put some effort into it. I love that Wayne Dyer said, you'll see it when you believe it. And there's a great quote by Emma Curtis Hopkins, which is about the same thing, but I think it goes a little bit deeper. The unconscious truth is that there is good for me and I ought to have it. To expect good and to be very definite in the mind that it is coming is to see it coming. To expect good and to be very definite in the mind that it is coming is to see it coming. She was very wise to say, we need to see it to believe it. We need to believe whatever it is that we desire, that power wants it for us. Do you believe that? Probably on Sundays, we might believe it more often than we do sometimes during the week when we're going through our regular schedules and things are happening to us. But see it coming, see your good coming. When we embrace the power, it also requires us to let go of any doubts and fears that we might have that that power is out there and I can use it. Because there are a lot of things that we can say, oh, yeah, well, that person deserves that, but I don't. I'm not worthy enough or whatever. That's a bunch of bunk. It's not true. It doesn't say there's a power out there greater than you are. And if you're really, really good all the time, you can use it. There are no qualifiers. It says you can use it without any qualifiers. So, how do we go about eliminating our doubts? Anybody remember that picture? I love this picture, and I have a statue of it at home. I should have brought it, of the lion laying down with the lamb. Can you imagine what the lamb had to go through to actually cradle up to that lion? Maybe the lamb hadn't figured out yet that should have been afraid of that lion. Maybe he had let go of those fears or hadn't been taught them yet. Because a lot of our fears come from our teaching, our parents, our whatever. When we think about that lion and that lamb, there was a union there that was no fear involved. All there was love. And I think sometimes we have to let go of the things that we think in our mind are the truth. We have to believe in something bigger than we are, that power that's greater than we are that we can use. I know that I love to come out of a cold place and go bask in the sun. And I think that's what we want to do when we're in the fear, we're in that cold place. And when we decide to use the power, we get to walk out into that sunshine and feel the warmth and let go of that fear. Does anybody relate to that? Good. So, you've probably heard the acronym for fear, false evidence appearing real. I never could quite get into that acronym. I mean, I know that we create evidence of things that we believe that may not be true, and so it's false evidence appearing real. But because I couldn't get into that acronym, I made one up for myself. And it's forgetting everything is always right. Because if we truly believe in our philosophy that everything is in divine order, then when we're in fear, we're forgetting everything's always right. We're forgetting that divine order. So I liked my acronym, so I learned to use it when I'm in fear. It's like, where are you forgetting that everything is all right? And I ask myself that question. What is it I'm forgetting right now? Because our fears are what cause us to suffer. Can anybody relate to that, that our fears cause us to suffer? It's not the joyous times that we suffer. It's when we're afraid of something, afraid of losing something, afraid of something going to happen that you don't want to have happen. There you're putting your attention on the things that you don't want. So one of the things about fear is learning to place our attention on the things that we do want. So I have a little acronym called AIM. We place our attention on our intentions and we manifest it. AIM. Place our attention on our intentions and we manifest it. Wow. What if we could do that 24/7? Charles Fillmore said that the greatest lessons that can be learned in the spiritual life is that in spirit and in truth, there is nothing to fear. In spirit and in truth, there is nothing to fear. So the question is, can we step up and believe that there's nothing to fear? Can we live in that spirit and in that truth and know that there is nothing to fear as long as we stand in the truth of who we are and the truth of what we know is absolutely true? That there's no spot where God is not, that there is a power out there that we can use for our good and the good of the greater good. Does this make sense? In order to eliminate fears, we have to get into our mind because fear is a mental state. It's not something that we were born with. Yeah, babies cry because they're hungry or whatever, but they're not in fear. They assume somebody's going to come feed them or change their diaper or whatever else it is. But we let things creep into our minds and we forget that there really is nothing to fear if we stand in the truth of who we are. If we know who we are, if we know that there is one power, that there is one life, that it's God's life, and it is our life right here and right now. If I believed that there was one power and one life, and it was my life right here and right now, that God's life was really my life, if I believed that 100% of the time, 24/7, I would never be in fear. But our minds, they get to us and they bring about all these illusions that I don't have enough money. I've looked at my bank account lately. I don't have enough money. Or I really need a new car and I want this. When we are in fear, when we are looking to create something in our lives, what we need to do is get into the feeling of it. I know my abundance, and it has nothing to do with my bank account. I know that God is my source, like that first song that we sang. God is my source. And if I start to feel fear at any level, I go into remembering that I'm forgetting everything's always right. I go into remembering that there is divine order in life. And somehow or another, I'm not seeing it. So use my spiritual practices, create an affirmation or go into meditation. Do something when you feel that fear creeping in. And is there anybody in this room that can tell me they don't know when fear is starting to happen? If anybody raises their hands, I'm going to say, I want to know who you were talking to. Ah, we all know when fear is creeping in because that's when we start to suffer, even if it's just a little bit. We start to suffer. Our suffering comes from our fear, from us forgetting that divine order. We might not always like the divine order, but hey, sometimes it's a call for us to grow, a call for us to learn to ask. Believe it or not, I spent a whole year praying that I could learn to ask for help. Never, ever again am I putting that on my list. I got lots of opportunities to ask for help. And you know what? I was looking on the internet this week because I always do this when I'm talking. So I went to look up some of the ways that our bodies suffer from fear. Oh my gosh. Gastrointestinal, cardiac problems, infertility, actually. All kinds of things. You can actually get fearful reading all the things about what stress and fear does to your bodies. I thought, oh my gosh, that's another reason that we don't want to live in fear. It does horrible things to our bodies. So, how do you start embracing that power and eliminating fear? Well, I like to say it's when we remember who we are. Now, remember is a really interesting word because re means again, and member means one of a group. So when we again unite as one and become part of that divine oneness, which believes that there is a power greater than us and we can use it, which believes that when we believe it, we will see it. That's the way we remember. Remember who you are. Remember that you're this divine child of the divine. This amazing being walking this planet on 2 feet or whatever, and knowing the truth about yourself. It's when we step away from the truth about ourselves that the fear starts to creep in. Because then we start thinking, I wonder, what would happen if. Well, what would happen if you decided to make your dreams come true? Anybody in here really love having a cold or the flu or any kind of illness? We don't like all those germs. So what if, and what do we do when we have a cold? We take all kinds of stuff to try to get rid of it, right? We take lozenges so we don't cough and what have you. What if we did that with fear? Okay, imagine this headline. A big germ hits Baton Rouge, and a group of people have gotten together to fight it. Now, the germ is the fear germ. Don't you want to be among the people fighting that fear germ? And not only getting rid of it in yourself, but helping other people to see they don't really need to live with that fear. Imagine what the world would be like. And hey, fear is just another thing that we need to put some energy into eliminating. Remember, the talk today is embracing power, that power that we can use, and eliminating fear. So we want to eliminate that fear, get rid of that fear germ, and stand in the power of knowing who we are and the power that when we unite together, that life is fabulous. So if something comes up and you're starting to notice that fear is creeping in, do something about it. Talk to somebody about it. Call your best friend and say, I don't want to live in this fear. Help me. Help me know the truth. Right where I am, God is. That great power is washing over me. That love is washing through me. That light is moving through me. Help me to know that. Imagine how wonderful that would be. I'm sure that everybody in this room has somebody they could call and say, I'm getting afraid about blah, blah, blah. I have things that I'm afraid about, and I know people that I can call. Sometimes I call Tom, sometimes I call my sister. It depends upon what it is. And they help me remember it's not the truth of who I am. Wow. So think about that person. Because we want to be the catalyst to eliminate fear, not only in our lives, but in the lives of other people. Because when we can do that, the world's going to be a much happier, much more joyful place. And we can eliminate that dis-ease of fear. It truly is a disease. And we allow it to take over our bodies. In New Thought Dictionary, it actually says belief and not the thing believed in is the power. Believe that you can eliminate fear. And remember, there is a power greater than you. You can use it. How do you use it? Just use it. Ask, and it's given. We know that. I have a great minister friend. His name is Mark Anthony Lord. Some of you might have heard of him. And he said, I'm the maker of the world I see. The world I see is the world in me. I'm the maker of the world I see. What does that tell you? That you have the power to see whatever you want to see, and you're making it up. And you're going to see whatever you make up. So if you make up that rope over there is really a snake, and I'm petrified of snakes, if you make up that rope that's hanging on the wherever we are God is really a snake, you've decided it's a snake. You're going to be afraid of it. The truth is, you knowing it's a snake or deciding it's a snake doesn't make it a snake. It's still a rope. Does that make sense? The world I see is the world in me. I'm making up my own world. Why not make it up to be a happy one, a joyful one, a loving, peaceful, calm one? We have a choice. Aren't we grateful that we were given choices in life? The power that you can use mirrors what you see. It uses it no matter what. You actually are using the power all the time because it's just mirroring what you're seeing in your world. So start making that world within you one that's filled with love and kindness and joy because the divine is giving you exactly what you ask for, whether you consciously ask for it or unconsciously ask for it. So today's the day. If something's not working in your life, figure it out. You can change it. And how do you change it? Developmental attitudes that allow you to live in the law of faith, that live in the law of believing in life and divine order. Start spending your time developing your own ideas. Define what you want. Do you know when you ask most people, what do you want? They don't really know. We have to, if we're going to have the world that we see be the world that's in us, we better be believing and deciding what it is we want. Because if we don't know what we want, that mirror out there is really confused. So it's time to start believing and seeing what it is you want. Because there is a power of the universe that's greater than you are, and you can use it. You can believe in something bigger than you are and let fear go by the wayside because you are not going to forget that everything is always right. Thank you very much. So we have an offertory, and I know that typically we're not passing a basket right now. There's a offertory bin up here, and there's one by the back door that you can bring in your offerings. And if you want to donate from home, there is a donate button on the website. And there's also a donate button on your weekly email. And Laura Lisa said if you don't get the email, just email unitybatonrouge@gmail.com and we'll put you on the email list. So let's say our affirmation, our offertory affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. Thank you, God. I want to tell a little story on my musicians. I was bound and determined you were going to hear this song today because it's perfect for the message. And so I sent them like a week ago, a week and a half ago, start listening to this song because we're going to sing it this Sunday. And I got all this stuff back. I don't know. Maybe not. And so I had decided, well, okay, if they're not going to sing it, I am going to sing it. But it's so beautiful for a group to sing. And they learned it for me. So I am grateful to them, and I hope you enjoy it.
One power, one power, one power.
There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day.
one power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say.
It's mysterious until you know the truth. It's as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Biola, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power.
We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names.
But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same.
We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or Heaven's Door. It's Mohammed, it's your mind, it's your soul or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me.
One power,
One power,
One power, one power, one power, one power.
Oh, wow. We could just remember the power of the love in you and me. So there's an offertory blessing. We send out our ties to the world, know that they are in support of our mission, knowing that they are being multiplied abundantly. And so I ask you as a congregation to say this blessing with us. Unity of Baton Rouge is a diverse, growing, thriving, healing community of wisdom, love, support, and service. It's nice to think about our ties going out to support that, isn't it? So we invite the kids in.
Good morning. Today's word of the day is power. We talked about our favorite superheroes and what makes them powerful. Then we discussed our own powers within and how we can spread love and joy to ourselves and others. We made affirmation bookmarks that will empower us. And I'm going to let them read what they put on their affirmation bookmarks.
And today we have a guest with us. This is our family friend Wyatt. So I'm going to let him share his. You want to share what you wrote?
I am strong. I put I can do it.
Thank you.
We just need to bring the kids in and let them tell us how to use that power, right? Ah. So there's a number of announcements, and I've asked Melanie to come up and read them for us. So you have a chance to have a little different voice up here. And she's got such a beautiful one.
Okay, we have a few announcements. We have a new class based on the book Unity and A Course of Miracles, available on Amazon, which begins Sunday, February the 12th at 10 a.m. And please pick up your 2022 contribution letters that are in the lobby before you leave today. And our monthly board meeting is next Sunday, January 29th at 4 p.m. on the Zoom link that goes out on Wednesday. Thank you always for sharing your time, talent, and treasure.
And there was another message that she asked me to tell you about. And I'm looking for the details of it. Frances Bennett made her transition this week. And so if you want to go to the visitation, it's tonight from 5 to 8 at Seal Funeral Service in Denham Springs. And if you want the link to where to send flowers, I have it on my phone and I'll be more than willing to share it with you. So we're going to sing Let There Be Peace on Earth. Stand up. Can we stand up and gather around? Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with the peace that was meant to be. God was free. And we say our power of protection. May God surround us. May the love of God enfold us. The power of God protect us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a fabulous week.